Few empires in history have achieved the cultural resonance of the Ottoman Empire. Stretching across Europe, Asia, and Africa for over 6 centuries, the Ottomans were not only conquerors and administrators, but also extraordinary cultural mediators. They connected civilizations, creating a bridge between East and West that transformed food, art, science, and fashion in ways still visible today. The empire's influence on modern culture is a reminder that its legacy extends far beyond political or military accomplishments. It continues to shape the very ways people live, create, and imagine. From its earliest days, the Ottoman Empire was a melting pot of diverse peoples, languages, and traditions. Anatolia, the empire's core, was home to Turks, Greeks, Armenians, and other communities, while its expansion brought Arabs, Kurds, Jews, and Slavs into a single political and social framework. This diversity became a source of creativity, encouraging exchanges of ideas, practices, and knowledge. The empire's approach to governance, which balanced centralized authority with local autonomy, allowed these diverse populations to maintain their cultural practices while contributing to a shared Ottoman identity. It was this interplay between local traditions and imperial oversight that created a fertile environment for cultural innovation. Culinary traditions are among the most enduring legacies of the Ottoman Empire. Ottoman kitchens combine the ingredients, techniques, and tastes of Europe, the Middle East, and Central Asia, spices from India and the Middle East, fruits from Anatolia, and techniques borrowed from Mediterranean cuisine merged to create dishes of extraordinary flavor and variety. Coffee, introduced to the empire from Yemen, became a cultural phenomenon, giving rise to coffee houses as spaces of social interaction, discussion, and creativity. Sweet treats like baklava and lokum traveled through Ottoman trade networks, influencing European confectionery and continuing to delight palates today. The empire's cuisine illustrates not only the blending of flavors, but also the blending of cultures, making it a cornerstone of its role as a bridge between East and West. Art and architecture similarly reflect the empire's cultural mediation. Ottoman architects synthesized influences from Byzantine, Persian, and Islamic traditions, creating mosques, palaces, and public buildings that combined functionality with aesthetic elegance. The Suleymaniye Mosque, Topkapi Palace, and countless smaller structures exhibit intricate tilework, calligraphy, and geometric design, representing a convergence of artistic traditions. European travelers marveled at these creations, bringing Ottoman motifs, decorative styles, and ideas back to their own countries. Ottoman art, whether in miniature paintings, ceramics, or textiles, offered a language that communicated sophistication, cosmopolitanism, and cultural dialogue across borders. Science and knowledge thrived under the empire, bridging intellectual traditions from East and West. Ottoman scholars engaged in astronomy, medicine, mathematics, and engineering, drawing from both Islamic and European sources. Libraries and madrasas preserved ancient manuscripts while fostering new discoveries, ensuring that knowledge circulated across regions. European intellectuals often sought access to Ottoman works, and Ottoman scholars engaged with Western ideas through trade, diplomacy, and travel. This intellectual exchange enriched both the empire and Europe, facilitating innovations in navigation, architecture, and medicine that would resonate for centuries. The empire's commitment to learning underscores its role not merely as a political power, but as a conduit for global knowledge. Fashion and textiles were another arena where the Ottomans influenced Europe and Asia. Silks, cottons, and finely woven fabrics produced in Ottoman workshops became highly prized across the Mediterranean and beyond. Ottoman garments, including caftans, sashes, and embroidered robes, influenced European clothing styles, particularly in wealthy and aristocratic circles. Decorative patterns, intricate embroidery, and luxurious fabrics were emulated by European tailors, reflecting admiration for Ottoman craftsmanship and aesthetic sensibilities. Beyond clothing, these textiles adorned homes, palaces, and public spaces, creating a visual language that traveled across the empire's trading networks and left an enduring impression on global design. Trade and commerce were central to the empire's ability to serve as a cultural bridge. Positioned at the crossroads of continents, the Ottoman Empire controlled key trade routes connecting East and West. Goods, ideas, and technologies flowed through Ottoman markets, creating points of contact between diverse cultures. Merchants from Europe, Africa and Asia interacted in Ottoman cities, exchanging commodities, practices, and artistic ideas. Markets like the Grand Bazaar in Istanbul not only served economic purposes, but also facilitated cultural encounters, making the empire a hub of creativity, exchange, and innovation. Religion and philosophy contributed to the empire's role as a bridge. While Islam was the state religion, the Ottoman administration accommodated Christians, Jews, and other groups through the millet system, granting a degree of autonomy and protecting religious practices. This system fostered coexistence and dialogue, allowing diverse communities to flourish side by side. Religious diversity encouraged intellectual exchanges, philosophical debates, and artistic collaborations, making the empire a laboratory of cultural synthesis. Through this pragmatic pluralism, the Ottomans demonstrated that power and tolerance could coexist, creating a model of governance that allowed cultures to intersect and influence one another. The empire's urban planning and public spaces reflected this synthesis of cultures. Cities were designed to accommodate commercial, religious, and social needs, blending aesthetics with functionality. Public baths, fountains, gardens, and marketplaces were not only practical, but also spaces where cultural exchange occurred daily. Urban design encouraged social interaction across communities, reinforcing the empire's role as a mediator between East and West. European travelers and diplomats documented these features, spreading admiration for Ottoman urbanism and inspiring city planning in other regions. Even in times of military conflict, the Ottomans continued to act as a bridge rather than a barrier. Treaties, alliances, and negotiations demonstrated a keen understanding of diplomacy, commerce, and cultural engagement. The empire's ability to maintain influence through negotiation and exchange, rather than relying solely on conquest, allowed it to shape the political and cultural landscape of Europe and Asia. This strategic combination of diplomacy and culture reinforced the empire's reputation as a sophisticated and enduring power. Today, the Ottoman Empire's influence is evident in modern cuisine, architecture, textiles, music, and social practices. Coffee culture, pastries, and spices continue to reflect centuries of Ottoman innovation and exchange. Architectural elements inspired by Ottoman mosques, palaces, and public buildings are visible across Europe and the Middle East. Textile patterns, decorative motifs, and design principles remain relevant in fashion and interior design. Music, literature, and visual arts bear traces of Ottoman synthesis, demonstrating the empire's lasting cultural footprint. Even as political borders have changed, the empire's role as a cultural bridge continues to resonate in everyday life. The Ottoman Empire's success in connecting East and West was not accidental. It resulted from deliberate policies, sophisticated administration, and a commitment to cultural exchange. By fostering trade, scholarship, artistic innovation, and tolerance, the Ottomans created networks of influence that extended far beyond their borders. Their ability to merge diverse traditions into a coherent cultural identity enabled them to mediate between civilizations, leaving a legacy that is still visible and celebrated today. In conclusion, the Ottoman Empire stands as one of history's most remarkable cultural mediators. Its ability to bridge continents, connect civilizations, and shape food, art, science, and fashion has left an enduring mark on the modern world. From the bustling bazaars of Istanbul to the courtly salons of Europe, from coffee houses to architectural masterpieces, the empire's influence is everywhere. The Ottoman legacy reminds us that true greatness lies not only in conquest, but in the power to unite, inspire, and enrich civilizations through culture, creativity, and exchange.